So here's the thing. I'm going to need you to take yourself through about 4 vinyasas. You know how to do that. Go ahead and start. We're doing our vinyasas at our own pace. Today I was going to walk you through, but I shot this really weird. You can't see the top half of my body, and you don't need to. Go ahead and do vinyasas. About 4 of them. If you don't know what a vinyasa is, then this is maybe not the video for you, because I'm going to go deep into some stuff, okay? And those of you who do know it, the reason why we do it is we're going to warm up the whole body, specifically the back. We're going to get into some heart and back stuff today, so you need to be warm. You need to do a few vinyasas, stretching out your whole body. Keep on going. And as you do your vinyasas, I'm going to tell you about why we do yoga. Here it is in a nutshell. It is a pathway from one emotion to a better emotion. That's what it is. It is so much less a physical exercise than an emotional exercise, in my opinion. Yeah, we're doing physical stuff here. We're basically kind of doing gymnastics. But the result is that we can move from a bad place to a better place. In the case of this one, I was so angry. And I did this practice. It involves a lot of heart opening and stuff like that. And I felt better. You're still doing vinyasas. And no matter how you're feeling, even if you're feeling fantastic, this practice is going to help you feel better. It just does. I don't know why. After all this time, I don't know why it works. But it works. We love yoga. Finish up whatever vinyasa you're on now, and then we're going to meet up in a chair in a second. And then scrape your fingernails on the mat and sit down into a chair pose. We're going to work our legs a little bit. Lately in my chair, I'm all about trying to find my heart at the same time as I'm finding my legs. I'm trying to find my heart in every single pose. It's a normal thing that we do in yoga. That's the rolling the shoulder blades back and down the back. We do that pretty much all the time. But anytime you're doing it, you're doing a heart opener. Not just for the sake of realigning your shoulders, but for the sake of actually opening your heart, which, man, I tell you, in these times. All right, take your left leg back. Take your left leg back and open up into a high lunge. Yes. So high lunge is kind of the same heart opener that we were just doing, only more so. You've got more stability in your legs, so you can go a little deeper into that back bend. We are going to be doing some back bends in this sequence. If you don't like back bends, this might not be the sequence for you. Put your knee down on the ground. Now we're doing low lunge. But the thing that I want you to notice about back bends is that they're not about bending your back. They're about opening your heart. That lumbar spine, yeah, it'll go backwards, but mostly what we're trying to do is really open the thoracic. All right, put your hands on the ground, and then put your, I guess that's your right leg across, as in high pigeon. We're going to do a high pigeon here. Find that back bend in your high pigeon. It's so good. It's so good. So good. You can roll over your back kneecap and pick up that back foot if you want to. The purpose of that would be to stretch the quad. As you see, I'm taking my arms back over my head here as I would in a wheel pose. The day is coming, not anytime soon, when I will be able to grab that foot. All right, now put your hands on the ground. We're going to go from the high pigeon down to the low pigeon. You love it. You love it. All right. I'm just doing a full-on wiggle here. What a good idea. That's always a good idea. I just decided to wiggle around in pigeon. Maybe you would like that too. And if you don't, then don't wiggle. All right. And then I'm taking the leg that was behind me, that's my left leg, out to the side. And we're going to find Parvrita Janusrasasana. That's going to be at 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock. Either 10 o'clock or 2 o'clock. Coming down over the leg. We're going to do the side bending version of this later. But for now, do the stay where you are. Do that pose. This is when I noticed that there was a stick in the screen. And I am moving the stick. And in hindsight, I kind of wish I hadn't. It was so kind of nice composition. Anyway, Parvrita Janusrasasana, when you do it like this, not in the twisting version or the side bending version, you are doing a digestive pose. It's beautiful. All right. And then take that leg from 10 o'clock to 12 o'clock, and now we're doing regular Janusrasasana. Janusrasasana translates as head to knee pose, but we're not trying to get our head on our knee so much as we're trying to get our chin on our shin. In other words, we're trying to lengthen the spine, not round it, per se. Good. Come on up. Oh, wouldn't you like some boat? You would. This boat pose, I did it with my legs straight. That's hard for me. I was shaking a little bit. You can do it with your legs bent if that's easier, or you can do like this if you want to. This sequence, I did this sequence when I was very angry, and it helped. It helped. Sometimes when you're angry, you just want to like do some of these kind of poses. And so dig in. Oh, and then I did this thing. This is when you're still in boat, but we are twisting, getting into the obliques a little bit. You can do it if you want, or you can go back to the regular boat, or you can come down. I was, as I said, trying to kick my own butt here. Sometimes that helps. Sometimes it feels pretty good. This sequence has a lot of heart opening and a lot of core work, and the combination of the two actually changed my mood considerably. I think you'll notice it too if you need it. All right. And then we're coming to the hollow body sit-ups. Hollow body is where you come down and hover above the ground. Your feet and your shoulders are a couple inches off the ground, and then you exhale up back to sort of like a condensed boat. They're awful. They're the worst. Do them if you want. They're so awful, they're great. Yeah. Okay. And then put your feet on the ground, back of your head on the ground, shoulders on the ground. Roll your shoulder blades back and down the back. That's that same heart opener we've been doing. Finding bridge pose. Love some bridge pose after core work. It's so good. Feeling your abdomen stretching out. Nice. And then if you want to, you can put your hands on the ground with your fingers facing your feet and push up to wheel. Wheel is a relative of bridge. It uses that same arm formation that I was sort of semi-demonstrating in the high pigeon, where the arms go backwards up over the head. It's a muscle group that people tend to lose after they're about 5 years old. So if you need to rebuild it, that's all right. Just give yourself some time there. It's fine. All right, come down from that. Hug your knees into your body. You're getting a good view of woods here, even if you're not getting a good view of me. It's a nice shot. Move that into happy baby. Take your arms to the insides of the thighs and the outsides of the shins. Happy baby is great. And then maybe grab your feet and open your legs in a V. Gotta remember your Mula Bandha here. It's a nice stretch for your IT bands and low back, outer hips. If it doesn't work for you, if you don't have that flexibility, it's fine. Doesn't matter. Come on up and meet me in tabletop. I'm going to take my sweatshirt off. We're about to move into camel, I think. Nope, we're doing cat-cows. Inhale to a cow lift. Exhale, cat tuck. Inhale, cow lift. Exhale, cat tuck. Inhale, cow lift. Exhale, cat tuck. Okay. Dolphin, yes. Put your forearms on the ground. I'm doing my dolphin up on my toes. That's just where I'm feeling it lately, and it's where I want it for the shoulder strength and the core strength. Doing it on flat feet is fine. This is my timid approach to the Pinchamayurasana, the forearm balance. I'm tiptoeing towards it slowly. Not today, but sometime. Good. And then make that into a dolphin plank. The dolphin plank is the one where you're on your forearms. I have my hands clasped together. That's not necessary for dolphin or for dolphin plank. I'm not sure why I'm doing it, but it's fine. You can do it that way if you want. Or you can have your arms parallel to each other. Your forearms parallel to each other. Dolphin plank is hard because it's a plank. But even as you're doing it, and this is a new one for me, you're trying to roll your shoulder blades back and down the back a little bit and get like just a little bit of like a divot in your upper back. So you're not rounding up there. Yeah. Okay, and then come onto your knees. Put your forehead on the ground. Here we are in puppy pose. Wag your tail. So good. All right, headstand. Put the top of your head on the ground. Now listen, if you don't want to do a headstand, just watch this one. I tiptoed forward. I got like a pound of pressure on my head. And then there was a moment where my core was like, hey, maybe those legs would like to come up. And then I brought them up. And lately for me, I like to have my legs in this weird shape where one of them is bent. That helps me find my balance. And then I brought them both up, but I could have stayed in the weird shape. That would have been fine. It's just about getting upside down. It's a muscular pose, obviously. It requires a fair amount of shoulders and a lot of core. Come down when you're ready and be in child's pose. It's just one you gotta practice, like all of them. If it hurts your neck or if it gives you a headache, as it used to for me, then don't do it. Give it a rest for a while. Just work on your core strength until you're ready to get up there without hurting some part of your body. All right. Now we're going to do the camel. I knew there was one coming. So you're on your toes behind you unless you prefer to be on flat feet. The main thing is that heart opener. This is what I've been saying about the back bends, okay? Find the heart opener first, and then we're going to do it. We're going to do one side and then the other. So first I got my left hand on my left heel, opening backwards on that right side. Your head can stay up if you'd rather, or your head can go back. This, for some reason for myself, I find the one-armed camel to be a bigger stretch than the two-armed. I don't know why. Come up when you're ready, gently, 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 and just kind of feel what you did in your back. I'm doing a seated cat-cow here. You can do that too. You're just like, wow, I did a huge thing. Let me just feel that. That's what we're doing. Making sure you're feeling it in a way that feels like integrity, not like clicking or something's off or something's ripped or I'm being mean to myself. Not like that. Like, I am looking good and I am feeling good, and anything else is not yoga. Yeah. All right, come back onto your toes, and we're going to do that other side on the camel. I think it's the right hand that's going to go down to the right heel, and the left arm goes back. This is a huge, even just looking at me, this is a giant back bend. I felt this afterwards in a whole bunch of different ways, but the way that I felt it most, that is the way that I really needed, was the heart opening. It'll open your heart. It'll give you a different perspective. All right, come up. And sit down on your heels. This is Virasana Hero Pose. I'm doing some more seated cat-cows, just kind of like being there with that thing that I just did, that big back bend. Exploring it a little bit through these seated cat-cows. And then come down. Oh, this is a cool pose. All right, so you're doing Shavasana, but on your belly. Go do Shavasana on your belly. Do like exactly nothing, but on your belly. That is a great pose to do when you've been doing extreme back stuff. Oh, but now we're done. I'm doing a locust on one side. I got my right arm and my right leg lifted up, and the other limbs are just kind of hanging out there doing nothing very much. This is locust on one side. You're gonna feel it. It's intense. To some degree, it's more intense to do one side by itself than to do both together. Okay, now I'll do the other one. Left side. Left arm, left leg are reaching up, and it looks like I'm doing something with my leg or my arm here, but I'm not. It's back strength. You're doing back strength on one side of your body. All right. Come down and windshield wiper your feet back and forth. This feels really good. You can have your head to one side if you want, or you can have your head like down on your hands, whatever. And then if you want to, grab your feet behind you and join me in bow pose. This is a big back bend. Made my body into a donut. That's a big ask. It is camel. Do you see that it's camel flipped over 90 degrees? It's also wheel, kind of, except the shoulders are in a different configuration. All right, come down. And cat-cows. Inhale, cow lift. Exhale, cat tuck. Inhale, cow lift. Exhale, cat tuck. Inhale, cow lift. Exhale, cat tuck. Make it into a downward dog. And step your left foot forward. Left foot forward, high lunge. Oh, did you think I forgot? Kind of forgot. Open your heart, high lunge. It feels good right now, right? After all that back bending to come to this high lunge, that's such a good integral back bend. Strong. This, like, to me, just looking at this, I understand why we do the leg work poses that we do. High lunge is a leg work pose, but it gives you such a strong base for this back bend. Yeah. Put that in right knee on the ground. Now you're finding low lunge. Opening your heart here, and at this point maybe you feel like looking backwards. We have done quite a bit of back bending. Maybe you want to go to a super deep low lunge. Okay, pigeon on this side. We're going to start with the high pigeon. Hanging out in your high pigeon. You are creating enough space there that a small woodland animal could crawl between your legs. Okay. And you can grab that foot behind you if you want to. That is getting deep into the quad. Yeah. And then come down to low pigeon. You love it. You love it. Low pigeon is when we arrange our legs underneath us in such a way that gravity will open up that hip. The hip that's underneath you. If you are feeling anything like gravity opening up the knee that's underneath you, you can't have that. That cannot happen. Don't do that. Okay? Just find the hip. And I know that you're a pretty advanced yogi if you made it this far in the video. So you don't need to hear me lecturing you about pigeon, but you might need to hear me say, find your pigeon better than you found it before. Look for a better feeling place. There's always one. All right. And then take that leg, your right leg, forward, and we're going to find the digestive version of the Parvarita Janusasana. It's a twist. It's an abdominal twist. Doesn't feel like it's a huge twist, but it is, because A, you're twisting your body so that your belly button can come, like, kind of line up with that knee, and then B, you're laying your belly down on your thigh. Digestive in two ways. Second chakra, third chakra. It was a beautiful pose. And then I decided I wanted to do the side bend. So take your elbow, that's your right elbow, to the inside of the knee, and let's hang out here for a bit in this side bend. And let me say that what is going on with that upper arm is not that relevant. See if you feel like doing like me and just not even expressing that upper arm very much, but looking instead for a way to find it in the side body and the side ribs. That's really where it is. That is where it's at. Yeah, come up. And then come forward. Janusasana. Head to knee. But not really. It's more like chin to shin. And if you're like, but I can't put my chin on my shin, then you maybe notice that I can't put my chin on my shin either. But it's all right. That's just kind of the direction that we're thinking with our spine. Some people, of course, can, and more power to them. All right. We're going to do the other side. Take your left leg out. I'm doing the other side for that side bend because we didn't do it before. Take your elbow to the inside of your knee and open up here. I'm really loving the not having my arm straight up, because then that sort of makes it about the shoulder for me, and that's not what's happening here. What's happening is side bend. Find the side bend. It's so good. All right, come up and lay down. It's Shavasana time. As I've said, the great challenge with online yoga, Shavasana, is to do the Shavasana and not to get up and run away and do something else. Maybe do it, maybe do it. I will tell you when to come out. All right, wiggle your various limbs and roll onto your side. You did it. You did that Shavasana. Good for you. And then sit up. Take your hands onto your forehead and try to feel how much I love you. I really do. I do. Take your hands to your heart. Dedicating our practice to each other. Namaste, and thank you for practicing with me. And you're like, she doesn't really love me. She doesn't even know who I am. But, yeah, I do. I do.